point you brought here. CW acting not just as a veteran, but now he's technically leading his ex-teammates, right? Now he's a coach, and it feels like with the experience, he's able to bring something new to the table. But let's just jump into the drafting phase here to see what will they cook.
Yeah, we're about to jump to the drafting phase here. Woo. Folks, this is going to be a flying cloud, so probably going to be some kind of shift in terms of the side lanes. It looks like the bans have started. For Onic, they ban out mid laners as well as the Yuzong, banning out the Eve, the Selena, and again, like I said, the Yuzong, and for Boostgate, banning out the Jushin, the Fanny. Let's talk about Jushin a little bit. It kind of feels like the nerf was kind of a buff, because even when I played Jushin myself, I can feel that I'm not controlling people as much, but at the same time, I feel like I don't have to.
Yeah, you actually feel like a genuine mage now. It's not something that you're like, oh, I'm just the guy who pulls sticky tape off the wall. Now you can actually participate and actually provide some relevant damage in the game rather than waiting for 3 items. But speaking of which, Onic, they're setting up for Sora. They've already kind of laid it down in stone, and I think the best part about the way that they're banning out, hey, get rid of the Selena. We've seen this played by Identity before. This is how they won their game number 5. But also getting rid of the Eve does tell you, hey, even if you want to play a tank, we're going to leave our EXP laner to fight you for it.
Here's the thing, right? They do not even pick up the Sora. Instead, they prioritize the Kalea instead, saying, Boostgate, are you really comfortable in picking up the Sora? If so, we still have that counter. And also another hero that we need to look at is that Obsidia, right? From the side of Boostgate. Will it come through again? Because it went through last day of wildcards, and it really was fruitful for them.
It was very fruitful because of her ult, man. That ult is disgusting. But with a quick response coming in from Boostgate, they quickly pick up Sora for themselves. Now, Sora has been busted for a while, especially in team fights. His laning phase kinda sucks. And that's why we're seeing that a lot of Sora players need to call their jungler at level 2 to get a little bit of an advantage when you know Yuzong is on the other end. Worst yet, what if he has to fight an Esport? And that's something that they need to, take into the process while Valentina gets locked in as a safety net.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys see the stats being 0-0, just to let you guys know, for the wild cards, it has been resetted here, so we're starting fresh when it comes to the stats. But now, Gideon, looking at the draft here, the opening, Boostgate takes the Sora and the counter as well, the Valentina. Do you feel like this is going to be worth it as the first 2 openers in the draft?
I think this is a very safe draft opener coming in from both teams, to be perfectly honest here. It feels like they want to, especially for Onic, they don't want to just play their game. They want to adjust a little bit to kind of form the key to the lock, right? And based on what we're seeing, the Yi Shin finally gets locked in. Very surprised that BGT didn't want to pick it up for Kazuya, but it's okay. He still has Assassins to play. Then finally, the Uranus. This is what I mean by reactive, right? I don't necessarily have to win the lane. I just need to make your life miserable.
By the way, looking at here, Identity has a habit of changing his IGN every season. This is his 4th IGN here, Gani.
Wow, Identity is really looking for his own identity, seems like. And hopefully, this one sticks. Hopefully.
And we'll see.
We'll see.
Speaking of, Kazuya does get his signature here, the Hayabusa, which has been phenomenal in the final game going up against VP here. But I really feel like Onic, they are wanting to challenge that because they pick up the Kalia. And I would say out of all the roamers, Kalia is probably one of the best to actually take Hayabusa out of the match, because when he does want to use his Ogi Shadow Kill, there's a small window of channel time. And during that time, Kalia can actually do something about it.
There's also one more thing, because, hey, it's great against Assassins, but there is a sub-influence down by the gold lane. Because now gold laners must take a Purify unless you play a perfect game with Flicker, and even then it's super dangerous. Considering all the options, it seems that even from Coach Dezette's POV, just in case, let's make sure that double fighters are out of the question. Let's get rid of the Ruby. I feel like there is a very good argument here for maybe even an Irithel to show up, but again, we still need a few more conditions to be cleared off first.
Yeah, I think with this approach, Dezette is like saying, okay, you have the Kalea. I'm confident with my Hayabusa dodging the skills, but with the Ruby, it's going to overwhelm my Hayabusa. So you mentioned about the bans on towards of 2 fighters. I think they should take that approach. And meanwhile, from side of Adi, I think he needs just to limit more roamers and see fine. Dezette, I really like this ban as well. Lunox popped off as well during wildcards, and it seems like the threat is still there in the Swiss state.
Maybe they want to Harif, right? Get rid of the Lunox. They can use a Harif, or they want to go back to something like a Claude, because surprisingly, Lunox actually does quite well against a Claude here. So right now, we're looking at the 3 heroes. I have one slight worry, which is going to be Walkthrough, because now the Gatot has been banned out. We don't have access to the Grok as well. he might have to go for something that's less playmaky, something like a high loss. What do you think about this one, Gideon?
Possibly. I think high loss is pretty good when you're thinking about like counter engage. Oh, Tsunami Slam, just drop the Glorious Pathway, reinforce as soon as you can. But at the same time, there's a couple of problems, right? What exactly does Onic want to play in the mid lane that doesn't get punished and might not need to actually hold on to Purify?
Look at that, even Hylos gets banned out here.
Exactly, because Onic understands exactly what they want to do. But at the same time, here's a weakness you have. You're missing out your roamer. We don't know what kind of mid laner because everything basically kills our mid laner.
Yeah, I think it's very flexible here for the side of Onic here with that mid lane, right? At least Sans, he has a deep hero pool, so I think that can, you know, be delayed.
I'm even thinking of something like a Kadita. It's been looking pretty good.
Kadita's interesting. I don't think it's the worst idea, but I think this might be an angle for potential. Like, you're gonna die to Hayabusa no matter what.
Yeah.
So I think you double down. Either you Farsa or you Kimi look to play the early game. Look to win out that mid duel as soon as possible. But the problem is that TZ is being really smart and not really showing who's in the roam.
Yeah. Honestly, there are a few options. We even see Minotaur and T-Girls back during the wildcards, and I feel like both are pretty solid options to do with both the Kalia as well as the Chin. Something that they can opt for is something like a Farsa, right? Being able to deal with the carry from afar. You might have to deal with the Hayabusa, but if anyone can deal with it, it's probably Sans.
Yeah. But that's why I feel like Kimi is a little safer in that sense. You know exactly what you want to play for. You want to play for the earlier stages, and then after that, you kind of want to pass that roll off to your side laner so you can scale back up for late. Carry comes through, Claw comes through expected, and good call. Kadita also comes through here. So again, they're trying to make sure that nobody is susceptible to just dying to Hayabusa.
Yeah, I think the bush control from side of Onic is really, really great, right? You got the Kadita, you got the Kalea as well. Now, BGT, whenever they want to say, take a river control, take a bush, they gotta be wary, they gotta be cautious, and they gotta be precise. Though, their range from the side of BGT is
not great.
Quite, yeah. With the carry, single lock against a Claude AoE.
I'm even thinking of something like a Hilda because they need someone to open up the bush.
That's the thing.
Because without that, both Kadita as well as the Kalia, there's no safe space for anyone here. They pick up a Kali. I'm not entirely sure about it. I'm gonna be honest here.
I think it's a better idea because if worse comes to worse, you need to sacrifice one person. Khalid is like, volunteer tribute. I'm ready to die for the team. Raging Sandstorm controls a large part of the map, especially during those turtle fights. I think that they've kind of opted to say, hey, there's a chance that this goes bad, and if it does, we can still play from behind.
Yeah, at least, it still has some speed like the Hilda. The mobility from Khalid is okay. But ladies and gentlemen, the 10 heroes are set.
Honestly, looking at Boostgate's draft here, it kind of feels very glass cannon-y. They got a lot of damage. They got a lot of way to fight, but they don't really have a lot of way to defend. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the very first game of the Swiss stage here. It's Onic Indonesia going up against Boostgate. Welcome to the M7 World Championship.
Ooh, the Exo Hall is alive here today. We got everybody here checking out this very first match. So come on down while you still have the chance and get your tickets while they're still out hot. Now, level 1, so important. This is going to be a make it or break it for the mid lane.
Yep. And right now, looking at the junglers, they're starting on opposite sides, which is something that we have seen in wildcards. If we see this, you got to be careful of those green camps on the side because it indicates that whoever wins the mid lane, they want to try to contest for that one.
For sure. And you can see that Wacker, he's double checking it, That's how we get that confirmation. And Keyboy, unfortunately for him, he doesn't have as much freedom as Wacker, right? Because Wacker's trying to open the map. Yeah. But unfortunately, Keyboy, he's got to make sure that this Kadita is able to move out of the lane safely.
Look at this. Xe is putting pressure onto Lupi because he needs vision to know whether Kyrie is invading or not. At this point, the EXP as well as the gold laner, they got to give information to know whether it's safe to actually take some camps away or not.
I mean, no real, extra aggressive movements from the junglers, right? No counter camps, takes, I think both teams are playing it slow.
Very, very slow. We look at the emblems as well. Common emblem for the Uranus, no surprises there, but making sure that RX is able to get into position to fight. Skylar should be okay. He's got Flicker, so he gets out of there no problem, but I'm more worried for RX, right? He's deciding to go for, he's trying to make sure that he has Festival of Blood to survive these fights early on if he's able to get the assist, and that's the big thing. When is he going to find that?
I also saw a rupture on Xe here, so it does look like they are trying to balance this out to make sure that in the early game, Xe as well as Kazue can deal the damage. Late game, hope everything on RX.
So far,
Oh, outside, that's gonna be Shadow Kill pops. That's first blood for Kazue. That's textbook in the mid lane. Onic trying to find compensation. Great disengage there by BGT. 1-0.
Yeah. Ludwig did not want to risk failing the flicker out of Ogi Shadow Kill. But now Wacker is doing great. Oh, never mind.
Oh, that's the first damage from Sans. They have recovered now. Keyboy taking a lot of damage. Identity finds an angle to take him down. And that will be the green light for Boostgate to take the turtle. No problem.
Actually, Try could not get the ball, but I think it's still good. But this is how Boostgate really should use the draft, because this is all about we trying to do everything that we can to make sure that you are denied of certain farm, and they're doing it quite well. But I do have to say, Onic ID, they have ways to counter. So Kazui just really has to be careful playing around Keyboy. As long as Keyboy is not there, it's probably all Boostgate.
Oh yeah, it's about pressure, right? Boostgate is designed to pressure their opponents as much as they can. And when we look at the hand cam, you can see the proactiveness of Kyrie looking across that map to make sure, Kazue, to make sure that they know exactly where he's gonna be.
Slam on towards one. Wow. Plain and simple. It's just pick off game from Onic, and that will be Boostgate. Losing on the trade in the mid lane. Gotta be careful. Identity still has skills. Looking past the flicker. Oh,
nice.
Hexy misses that damage, but that's gonna be Ludwig surviving.
Really good stuff. Really good stuff here. Now, Exy, at the very least, he's gonna have some pretty decent damage in the earlier stages of the game, right? He's getting a lot of it through his raw stats and as well as his emblems, but he's building up to that War Axe. Now, the question is, what does he do after that War Axe, right? Because a lot of the conversions are HP base. So if you have more HP, you do more damage in your lightning form. If you have a lot of damage, then you convert it into max HP into your cloud form. And that's the real question, because I feel like this team needs a tank more than it does need a finisher.
Honestly, looking at a crowd control from Onic ID, I feel like it would value him quite a lot to go for a brute force first, and then later on consider whether he wants to go for an Oracle or go for something like the Chastised Pauldron to deal with Skylar. Because personally for me, I don't think Walker can be a frontline here. So even if he does build Chastised Pauldron, it might not actually help them out enough.
Yeah, I think this actually doubles down. If they get a 5,000 gold lead, I expect them to build all damage. Because truly, if it's just Ogi Shadow Kill and then you let Xe just try and clear up, that should be enough.
Which is quite tricky, right? Means BGT, they need more control in the early game. Seems like they're more proactive for the second neutral objective. Remember, Onic, they lost that first turtle, so they're looking to equalize here. Keyboy looks for a jump. BGT still able to hold formation. Onic, though, now starts the turtle. BGT Kazue is still on the purple buff. Let's see the take. Onic trying to take their time. BGT finds an opening with the Raging Sandstorm. Doesn't really find the connection. Kazue finds a steal as Wachter will be the sacrificial lamb. Now it's a 5v4. They will force the fight as Onic will look for something in the mid lane. Take a look at the bottom side of the map as well. Kazue is rotating towards Skylar. Take a look at her minimap. Sir, Skylar taking a lot of heat. And that will be Kazue slaying Skylar in the bottom side of the map.
Oh, thank God Kazue was able to get that auto attack because he whiffed the shurikens at the end.
And again, this is why I was talking about Kazui on this Hayabusa, because it is legit. He has to the changes of the quad shadow, the reduce of the range, but having more cooldown in a good way, meaning less cooldown. So Boostgate right now, this is worrying, which is they haven't transferred any of their advantages to real gold advantage, because the goal is not there. They need to get those turrets down.
Feels like a 3K, but it's only 400 gold, right? Now it's a 2v1 on the top side of the map. Ludwig taking a lot of heat. Kazue finds the kill again. Ludwig will waste that flicker.
Okay, Prod, now we gotta see how close is he towards his Sky Piercer, because that's a Kazui special on his Hayabusa.
And honestly, he's playing like a legit perfect game, but here comes the dive onto RX.
Yeah, it seems like the Purify will be dropped early. That will be enough for RX to get to safety. Raging Sandstorm, flicker as well. Looking at on an engage. Keyboy, Tsunami Slam to his death. And that will be RX picking up his first kill in the game.
Blue team turret has been destroyed.
A lot is going on here.
LaFell, what would have you done in that situation? I'm Kyrie, you're Keyboy. What do we do? Is it sacrifice or luck? Because I feel like there was an angle that both of them could have lived.
Yeah, for sure. But hold on, I actually have to hold that one. Look at the difference here, 880 gold for Kazue, and this time he's actually not going for that Sky Piercer. Looks like he is going to go for a War Axe instead. In terms of what I would do what Kyrie did. Is like, you know what? You're done. I'm out of here.
And 1,000 gold on the gold leaner as well.
Yeah.
That's significant.
And this is something that we hinted on earlier, which is strong teams does have a bit of struggle when it comes to the best of one. Not saying it's over just yet, but hey, Boostgate, that momentum from Wildcard is carrying over here in the Swiss stage.
I think right now the biggest difference that we're seeing between Onic ID is that and Boostgate is the fact that Boostgate are just actively moving across the map. They are doing a lot of actions in the map. Executions. Onic ID are thinking and responding. And you can clearly tell when those moments happen, right? They're a little bit slow to actually catch the wave, but when they make a decision, you can see that it's an executive decision. Everybody's able to move as one. And I think right now they're waiting for that one moment that Boostgate just drops the guard for that full wipeout.
Yeah. Especially around the Lord later on. Speaking of players goal, RX, Kazue, Xe is top 3. Kyrie is following up, but again, the difference between him, Kazue, and RX is a bit too big. Now, the thing about Boostgate, the scary thing is they scale as well. And personally for me, a scaling carry and a scaling Claude, I'm actually more afraid of the carry.
Yeah.
Because even if Claude has that win of nature, it really doesn't help much.
Yeah.
True damage. I don't know why they categorize it so differently. I wish it was more uniform, but hey, that's just the game, right? But BGT, you can see that the Riverline, especially when they are moving as 4, they just dominate one quadrant of the map. And as soon as they move to the other, that's when Kibo and Sans have to make choices.
Oh, great calculations there, but yeah, you can see here BGT just applying a lot of pressure. They want to use this 3K to his utmost advantage, right? And they're expecting to fight. Oh, that's a Tsunami Slam. It's going to be revive in the back. Xe finds the connection, and the formation of Onic is dismantled. Kazue finds a kill. It's a 5v4 now. RX joins, but it seems like BGT's call. Let's take the turrets down.
I was about to say we just saw a big power spike for Xe because now he has that brute force, making it so that he can engage and he can get out. And that's what we just saw in the mid lane.
I mean, it's not like he was like CC immune or anything, but he is but one tanky boy. What a counter engage here. And I'm surprised, out of all people, Identity walks away with majority of his health still intact.
Yeah, and taking that rough waves coming in from Kadita.
Yeah.
Not as much damage as the original Kadita coming in from Sans, but it was more than enough.
In terms of goal differences that we're starting to see in this 4.5K, RX already complete, Skylar half a component away.
Okay, they got to be aware of that. But, you know, got to keep it. Like, it was quite questionable that they went in for Identity, especially Keyboy being the top roamer, supposedly went in and committed on towards Identity, who had Purify.
I think it's a bit of desperation play, hoping to force a mistake coming in from Boostgate. It's like, oh no, we caught the guy with the Purify, and then everyone comes in, and then Onic ID will be prepared for that counter engage. But I feel like even they were surprised, Xe coming in with the shifting winds, getting all 4. So I feel like they were trying to bait, but Xe was just too ready for it.
He was one of the game changers right there, and this is why Boostgate got the 6K lead. Now they want to apply pressure in the mid lane. Will they look for a fight? I don't think so, right? They're happy in taking the turret down. Onic, though, looking for a defense angle. Will be trying to distract. 4 members is on him. And now with this, I think Onic is okay with defending 3 base turrets here.
If Boostgate can keep doing that, which is force out Sans from using his ult, that's going to be huge. Because once Sans' ult is down, they don't have kill pressure. Oh, hold on. Wachter.
On towards Wachter, on towards the Khalid. Everything but at Wachter lives. Take a look at the back. Xe again does the magic. Onic now again dismantled as BGT. They want to take this fight. They want to take the free hit. This time, Onic survives with 5.
Nobody dies. Nobody dies. It's just a trade of battle spells. These plays are going to keep on happening. Now we see that the Guardian Hell is in the process of being made by Xe at this point. He knows exactly what he wants to do. But what's scarier is that Kazue has already built into the Malefic Roar and is going into the Endless Battle. And with the Winds of Nature done by RX, this is why they have the green light. Let's fight. We need to force something.
Look at the difference here. 2,000 for the EXP, 2,000 for the gold lane. The side laners of Boostgate is winning by a lot because their jungler is almost 1,000 ahead. Speaking of, Kazue has a lot of penetration items here. You got the Hunter Strike, you got the War X as well as the Malefic Roar. At this point, no one from Onic ID is tanky.
Yeah, and Lutby only has just components, right? With only Oracle and his boots being the only completed items. Skylar now finally getting the util, but still doesn't have the completed Trinity just yet.
Yeah, he doesn't go for the Corrosion Scythe. opting for defense, which makes sense because Kazue is having such an amazing time. But we did talk about it, where if he is going up against RX or Identity, it kind of doesn't matter. Speaking of, Identity does have that lightning truncheon. Now doing quite a lot of damage on that resonance, making it so that even if you do use your Wind of Nature, quite a lot of damage will be absorbed by that cloud.
And it goes both ways, right? Sans also finished a lightning truncheon on his end as well. So it's about precision, right? How accurately can Onic ID find a scalpel and go straight at RX, or maybe straight into Identity? And we've seen that both times those purifies came in handy. So there needs to be a little bit of tenderizing. We need to see those battle spells come out first.
See here, Boostgate already teasing the Lord. Kazue has not shown the map though, so Onic, they're questioning here, where is Kazue? Should we fight? Should we take more? And it seems like Boostgate, they understand that it's 7,000 gold lead, so let's just take this Lord dance slowly.
Yeah, they can. Look at that bot wave, right? Skylar looking to respond to that bottom wave. They don't want to lose a free inhibitor. Top side as well, also building up a pretty good wave, net neutral. For the mid until RX looking to push it in hard. This is the perfect position for Boostgate Esports.
I feel like for Onic ID, they're waiting for RX to get so close to Loopy that Keyboy can respond.
Mount Shocker here, that's gonna be popped, stunned. Oh my goodness, Keyboy obliterated as BGT. Two-man petrified by Sans, but great reaction on the flicker with the tough boots. That's gonna be the immunity. Kazue taking the Lord. BGT perfectly executed. Now Sans is a juicy target, but great damage control. Oh! Kazue finds the angle to shut Sans down.
Now they're going to be holding right back. Oh, wait, another play!
Oh, Exy with the Sora. This is why you pick Sora up as Skylar looks for defense. Terrified again by Exy.
What is up with Identity's damage? They're just too far behind. They don't have any MR to protect themselves. Everybody, like Kazue, he's so far ahead it doesn't matter. But Identity is doing a ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
I would say, again, Boostgate, they're playing perfectly here.
Again, Exy looking for the playmaker. Kazue jumping in, stun, Tsunami Slap, finally shutting Kazue down, but is it enough? BGT still applying pressure, Loopy flickers out, but here comes the damage from RX. They gotta deal with the Lord. Kyrie jumps up here, Skylar as well. It seems like for now, Onic can defend.
The moment I say play perfectly, that's where we die.
Yeah.
You know what, my bad.
Hey, it happens to the best of us, but there's another one. Identity finally falls, and the overextension is confirmed. But at what cost? We lose two members, but we had a Lord-empowered wave push into it. The second one could have been that third inhibitor to get super minions the entire game.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Are you gonna say
I feel like that play was aight.
Could be better.
That's a safe word.
That is a safe word. But yeah, at this point, I feel like RX is not able to contribute enough, but he's doing his job as a goal laner. He wants to make sure that he is safe. Looking at the items here, having that Wishing Lantern as well. Personally, for me, I kind of feel like they have enough anti-tank items in their whole squad that maybe you could have done something else, but so far this does mean that Kyrie will actually be having a very hard time because there's no front line, right? So he wants to kite around, he wants to play around, but it makes it so that there's no distractions for him. I would say same as Sans. Like, they go in, and then no protection coming in from Lupe and Keyboy, they will be the next target.
You're not wrong, but I think right now, especially for Boostgate Esports, right? When we're looking at the items, it's like, how much MR do you really have? We're seeing that, you know, the initiator tanks are all, and the peelers are now starting to get into the MR, but I think at least with the Wishing Lantern, you'll still do relevant damage, right? And I think that's why Identity understands, hey, RX, your job is to look real juicy. As soon as they try to go for you, me and as well as XE will peel them off. Like, almost guaranteed. There's no counterplay around that so far.
Just to say, very interesting. Skylar's changing a bit the items here for the Claude. Instead of going for the Corrosion Scythe, now he's actually opting for a Wind Talker. So he went Demon Hunter into Golden Staff, Wind of Nature, and then having the Malefic Gun, and then now the last item is that Wind Talker. So we'll see how this change of items works for Skylar.
Personally, for me, I think he wants, as much as he wants to quote-unquote take advantage of the crit, even though he has Golden Staff, generally speaking, it's the movement speed that actually he wants. He wants to be right at the very edge of his blazing duet.
Right. Keep the winner crown as well. Perhaps an outplay potential from Kyrie in this potential Lord fight. you know, being both junglers level 15 here, so it's an open fight. Top lane, though, definitely advantages from the side of BGT. They can't take their time here. That's a jump on towards Walker. Petrified everything. Put on towards Walker. It's a 5v4 now, but they have the items. BGT immunity. Again and again. This guy keeps playmaking for BGT. That's the blazing duet from Skylar, finding the double RX vulnerable, and Kyrie finishes them all.
Oh man, Kyrie and Skylar look like identical twins at that 2v1 moment. Somebody was about to die, but their push and pull was immaculate to keep them both alive in such a terrible scenario. Either way, Onic hold out against the damage. And this is great because that score has evened up 10-13 with a Lord already spawned.
I'm sorry, I need an instant replay because I need to know, how did RX dealt 0 damage? I understand there's 3 members there. Maybe he was jumping onto everyone, but now Kyrie gets the Lord. Onic ID with 0. Well, they have 1 defense back in base. They're turning things around.
They really are. I really thought that the corrosive side would have opened up more opportunities to kind of slow down their opponents and, you know, maybe get a couple of eliminations on the way. But let's look at this replay one more time, right? How does RX actually get damage through? He's hitting Lupti, right? He can't really do much about it. He goes over to Sans, and as he's walking up right here, where's the turnaround? The blazing duet comes out instantaneously, double wands being used, and then it was a 1v3. So really, he was just targeting one big tank and realized that there's just too many targets to hit.
Actually, here's the thing. He was attacking Skylar for a while, and even though it doesn't hit because of the Wind of Nature, why does it look like RX is doing just no damage?
Because he's swapping targets. He's swapping targets. It's like, oh no, Winds of Nature. I gotta hit the Yi Shin. Yi Shin jumps out of the way. Oh no, who am I left to hit? Uranus, and it's too late.
Looking at the items, everything is fine and dandy. There's nothing weird.
Yeah, definitely, right? Especially Holy Crystal already inside of Sans as well. Skylar will take the turret in the mid lane, and Onic, they are not just equalizing here. Slowly but surely, they're actually taking more control in this game.
They're looking to close it out right here, right now. Ideally, right? Oh, no.
Big cock up, but no follow-up. Luffy, though, terrified. Still has a flicker here for that Uranus, but that will be turret. The bottom side taken down. BGT now playing with 2 base turrets.
I gotta say, RX gotta be careful. He got hit by Kurita twice.
Yeah, our hearts literally stopped. Oh no, we all thought it was over right there and then. Yeah. But luckily Sans didn't even believe he hit it. He dropped it and walked away. He was like, oh, well.
This is a Holy Crystal Kadita. She doesn't need full combo. She does threaten you.
Boy, does she not. And now it's a matter of mistakes. How many mistakes can you make in this game? That will determine this best of 1. And better yet, it's about the trigger fingers, right? Wacker alongside of Xki are now a little bit more, let's just say, a little bit more cautious walking up for those big engagements. And the same can be said about Keyboy and Sans. That's why precision is really the topic of this game.
Yeah, that's going to be an angle. That's
beautiful.
An attempt! That's going to be the stun. That's going to be Xi off the board. And Onic will use his advantage in 40 seconds to the next Lord, though. And they can't take it slow, but it seems like they're just applying more pressure here against BGT. 2 minutes ago, different story.
But now with 40 seconds on the clock, 35 now. Inhibitors exposed, walking along with a Lord-powered minions. At least they need to get 1 inhibitor. And ideally, it's not just the mid lane.
Yeah. Right now, look at his walk there, gets knocked up. He's very low HP. He's got to be careful. RX doing quite a bit of damage just to deter him away. But he keeps getting hit by Sans. Bro, dodge!
Oh my goodness, he lost half his HP in 2 spells. 2 spells! Oh my lord.
Like, stop using your second skill. Save it to dodge.
You can't tell me what to do. I got Purify.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's fine. Oh.
Luffy distracting here. Being the sandbag. Kyrie secured the Lord. Now Wachter all alone, isolated, flickers out to safety, and BGT cannot find a compensation here. Onic, the Lord will spawn now and will walk to the bottom side of the map here. Boostgate, do they have enough to defend?
At this point, it looks like they want to fight because look at Identity. He looks like he wants to lock someone down. The question is, who?
I don't think there's any good targets at this point, right? Because the way that these fights have kind of been playing, Onic are not taking an honest front back. I think they've learned that. They're opening the map as much as they can so they can really stretch them out like dough.
Yeah.
Eyes on keyboard. He has the flicker. That's a conceal. Eyes on keyboard. He has immortality.
That's so dirty.
Oh, looking for an opening. Todd! Burst walked her down. And now with the Lord taken down, BGT will look to grab her face. Cancelled. Exy loses immortality. Skyler finds the angle. Doesn't find anyone though. That's the winner crown. They look to find the mid lane. Oh, the dodge, the shadow kill doesn't really land. The petrify. Sans looks for an outplay. Kyrie jumping in, terrified, has the immortality. Will lose his immortality. BGT still standing with 4.
How?
Dude. How is because RX is sustaining through everything, man. He gets low, he jumps back up, he gets low, he gets jumped back up. It makes it so that as much as Onic ID wants to say, they gotta understand that the threat is real. And Onic ID and Boostgate, they're having 1v1s everywhere. It's not a collective of 3 against 1. So, it's ego challenging all across the board. And whether you notice it or not, it's already 22 minutes.
It's already 22 minutes, and it's just the best of one. I can only imagine what the rest of the day has in store for us. But genuinely, that was one of the greatest sequences of pushing and pulling. For all of you casual players out there looking to be, trying to go up in the in-game league, right? Or you're trying to boost up on your rank with 5 men, and you just can't beat the other party.
Or women.
Or women. Pushing and pulling is really important in team fights, especially when you've used more resources than your opponent.
Yeah. Right now, legit, in terms of the items here, I wonder what XE is going to go for. Will he go for immortality?
Wow.
Oh, hold on. I think they see XE.
Yeah, that's a good spot. Uh-oh, Exy stunned up. No immortality. Good night, Exy. A little bit too ambitious there on the positioning. But Onic, remember, they have the Mountain Shocker.
And this is 22 minutes. Look at that. 1 minute away. XE will not be in this load fry unless somehow Boostgate is able to delay for 1 minute.
Yeah, and I think that XE needs to start making some better decisions, right? When you see Keyboy, he is not alone. You've done this 2 times already. 3rd time, you've got to make the adjustment.
Yep, right now, Identity might try to lock someone. The last time, he locked onto Skylar and actually almost got him.
Oh, it's a 1v1. Sans trying to distract him. No shadow.
RX.
That's going to be the
clutch.
Max finds a clutch. Steal on the Lord.
Oh my God.
Onic, they will collapse on to finding members. Identity will be the first one to fall in this sequence. But BGT.
Look at the minion. Look at the minion.
Especially RX.
What
a clutch basic attack. The minions here, but Skylar is fine there. Great calculations for Onic, but they gotta defend the Lord.
I'm just gonna say I'm living it tomorrow. I was thinking RX is gonna steal, and then he did. I don't know how, man.
I really thought Kyrie had that because again he had empowered auto attacks, each one doing like about 1,000 at this point.
Look at this XE taking way too much damage. He is a playmaker for this team, and looks like Kazuya he found Sans.
Great spot there. Great awareness. But that will be the Lord Evolve taken down in the mid lane as Boostgate, they don't have identity, so they can't push for more.
I think it's so funny that at least for Sans, he's emoting with the Onic PH emote rather than the just traditional Onic ID. Just to make sure, hey, you're not fighting just one of us, you're fighting an entire organization. And despite having a whopping lead in the earlier stages of the game, now it is evened up and even overtaking their lead, 6.8K. The veterancy to maintain that level of farm is ridiculous.
You know what? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is game number 1 of the M7 World Championship Swiss stage. This is Onic ID. They're being pushed to 25 minutes of this game. Actually, no. Boostgate was the one dominating the entire time. Onic ID with the veterancy able to withstand this long. There's no better way to start off our Swiss stage here, Gani and Gideon.
I agree. I mean, 15 minutes ago, it was Onic on the deficit of 7,000 gold. And like 15 minutes later, they are ahead gold-wise, but it doesn't matter, right? 26-minute mark. You know, they got 1 base turret, and Boostgate still has 2.
Yeah, and I think the scariest part right now is that the next Lord spawn is so unfavorable for Boostgate. It's spawning on the north side of the map. Their south side is a missing inhibitor. That's something that they cannot control compared to Onic, who has at least their final inhibitor on that bot side. It's just 2 waves that they can manage, and mid lane is always contested between the best teams. God, no!
Connection, that's the Tsunami Slam. Take a look at the Petrify! The crowd control chain! But here comes XE, trying to delay the take as Zue goes down. BGT, they're in trouble. Onic, Kyrie jumps in, XT falls. Blazing duet from Skylar. Finding the angle, finding the connection, and down goes Wactor. It's a 3-for-1 and Onic ID. They look for the Lord.
God, Kyrie's so good at switching between auto attacks. It's actually crazy. He just maxed out damage the whole way. If we looked at his damage in that fight, I think that he doubled Skylar's. It's crazy. And Skylar, he's just taking it. He doesn't mind it. He has the auto attack speed. He has the natural lifesteal to get back up to full HP once more. And even Kyrie, he's now getting a Haas Claw to ensure his survival against the raw burst of RX.
I gotta say, man, Keyboy is nasty. Like, earlier, maybe, you know, just warming up, just getting used to being back on stage, but my goodness, once he gets his groove back,
Yeah.
dude, like anyone he targets dies.
Kind of feels like kind of feels like a bit of split personality between Throwboy and Keyboy. They're struggling for possession. They're like, no, I will take his body. No, Throwboy, stay back.
This is interesting as well. Onic ID only have a 1 turret to their name. Getting this comeback,
It's important.
dude. If somehow Boostgate is able to survive this push, oh my goodness! Like,
Well, it's just deja vu.
like, will we have the longest game of Swiss stage being game number 1? Imagine if somehow it gets longer.
I feel like Malaysian's a curse at that point. You're just unfortunate enough to be dipping your toes in it.
Oh, hold on, look at that, Keyboy.
Let's see. He has the flicker, has the conceal. Pop Tit already. No immortality, though, so gotta be more calculative there, Keyboy. The Lord, though, is in the bottom side of the match.
We gotta look at XC as well as Walker. Their engage can make and break this game.
Look at Kazue, right? He's trying to find an off angle here, right next to RX. Wait.
Oh, Sans pulling the trigger in the mid lane.
It's a whiff.
That's gonna be Petrify on towards Walker. The base, though. Take a look at the base. It's so low. Lootby falls, but down goes the base. And for our opening match, it will be the Sky Kings.
Wow, what a fade. You go in, ult, make yourself